In this video, I'm going to show you all of the tools and accessories that I use when I am installing casing, jambs, baseboard, crown molding. I'm going to show you a lot of that stuff. A lot of my trim carpentry must-have tools. Let's start with this little orange device. What is this? This is the trim lock from Bench Dog Tools, made in Taiwan. I've had this thing for about 15 years, bought it from Rockler way back in the day, rockler.com, and I don't think you can buy it anymore, unfortunately. I have not been able to find it in many years, so I'm glad that I've got this one, but basically this is what this tool allows you to do. So this is a window jamb that we've built out, and it's just a case jamb. Essentially, it allows you to align your miters perfectly so you know where to start your first nail. It's even got this little indentation right here. That's really where your first nail should be. I don't pay attention to that all the time because I have had it split once in a while there, so I back it off just a hair. But this tool is really handy for aligning your miters, especially like if you're installing trim on a door. I can hold this tool up. It's got this hole for your hand. You can put your hand in there, hold the jamb of the door, and then align your miter, and then pop your nail right there, and then you can let go and go down, work your way down through the casing or the jamb material. It also is great because it's got a 3/16 reveal built into it all the way around. So I can pop it on here on this jamb material, and you can see I've already put a mark right there. So if I wanted to, I could actually run this and mark the entire thing, and that's a perfect 3/16 reveal on that jamb for this casing. So this tool is really handy because it aligns your miter, but it also aligns that perfect 3/16 reveal. This is how I get nice tight miters on my casing. Great tool. Maybe you can search on eBay or something. I won't be including a link for this unless I can find them available, but I haven't found this tool in many years. I wanted to buy another one just as a backup. So that's my first, one of my most important trim carpentry tools. Another one is this nail setter or nail punch, whatever you want to call it. It's from a company, I think it's called Spring Tools. So it's basically got a spring, and it's got a little bit bigger point on one end, a little bit smaller point on the other end. And basically what this allows you to do is, instead of messing up your miters or your trim, you can set your nails just by holding this bottom and then popping it like so. So this tool actually works very, very well. I think I gave 10 or 20 bucks for this at a trade show a long time ago, and I will never go back to a standard nail punch or nail setter and a hammer after using this thing. This is a great tool for that. So it helps save your miters after the fact or your trim after the fact, because you can lightly pinpoint exactly where you're wanting to hit. Just works well. A sponge. This is a must-have. A lot of people don't know about this trick. A damp sponge specifically. So I'll soak this sponge with water, and then anytime I use glue, like on these miters or anywhere else on crown molding miters, scarf joints, butt joints, when we're using biscuits, you can wipe the glue or the caulk on this damp sponge, and it keeps your fingers clean, and it really just kind of soaks in the sponge, and then you can clean the sponge out. Works great. Another big tool, Collins clamps. I got these on eBay a long, long time ago. So it comes with this little tool here, these little pliers, and then you can just spread those out like that. These are very sharp points on this, and basically it creates a lot of tension on the miters. So if you'll look at these miters, these are nice and tight. That's because I put these Collins clamps on there like so, and that squeezes, that puts pressure on this glue joint right here, okay? So these Collins clamps are a must-have. They're a little bit pricey, but they work really well to provide tension on those glued joints. If you'll read the bottle of glue, it tells you to clamp for so many minutes or hours. Clamp for a minimum of 15 minutes. So we want to clamp it. We want to put pressure on it. I go a little bit further. I use a pin nailer as well. This is the Flex pin nailer, 23 gauge. I use the 1 3/16 pins in it. It works very, very well. The safety's great. It does have a light here on the top, jam-free. So if you get a jam, you can quickly and easily service it. Lightweight, it's got a little belt hook. Great little pin nailer from Flex. I throw a pin in the top and the side of every miter before I put the Collins clamp on there. and that just helps kind of keep that aligned when I'm putting that much pressure on the miter. As far as jambs go, this is how I build my jambs. If you want to look down here, I've got two 18 gauge nails, and then I've got a, go down a little bit further, I've got a 2-inch drywall screw, so I'll pre-drill that. That will keep these jambs nice and tight for the duration of the window. I've seen other guys use biscuits or dominoes or a pocket screw, whatever. If that method works for you, great. This is really a basic method. Pop a couple 18 gauge nails in the top of it and the bottom of it to hold everything kind of even, and then pre-drill and throw you a couple of drywall screws in there. It'll keep things nice and tight, and it's super easy. 18 gauge nailer. So this is my Flex 18 gauge nailer. This is probably my favorite battery operated finish nailer, and I am a hardcore believer in using 18 gauge nails to attach casing to the jamb. I use a 15 gauge to attach the casing to the wall, because think about it. You're going through, you know, 1/2 inch of material here, 1/2 inch of drywall, and then into framing. To me, it just needs a little bit thicker nail. But when you're attaching the actual casing to the jamb, this is all you need. Now, I've seen some guys use a 23 gauge pin nailer or even a 21 gauge nailer to attach casing to jambs. I've never had success doing it that way. I have always used an 18 gauge. I've tried it a couple times, and over time, this casing just moves so much. We're in the hot, humid South, so bringing, you know, materials that have a higher moisture content into a conditioned space, we're remodelers. This stuff is going to move a little bit. An 18 gauge nail is not that much bigger than a 21 gauge or a 23 gauge pin nailer. You're still going to have to putty those holes. We use an 18 gauge. That's just standard for us. Now, as far as saws go, this is my Flex table saw. It's a cordless or corded table saw, and I just put a new blade on it this morning. This is a Diablo ripping blade. So I think it's like 24 tooth, something like that. But I like the Diablo blades because they have a little bit thicker kerf. They get done what I need them to get done. We're not doing like super, super high-end fancy woodworking projects or anything like that. But even then, I think this blade would handle it. These last a pretty good while. They do really well for me. So those are the blades I use, and this is the table saw I use on the DeWalt stand. I like this DeWalt stand because it's got wheels. I can fold it up really quick and roll it into the back ramp of the cargo trailer, and I never have to actually pick up the table saw. So that's huge. As far as miter saws go, this is the best miter saw I have ever used, hands down. This is the Flex. This is a cordless or corded as well. 99% of the time we're running this saw off of a battery. What I like about this saw, well, what do I not like about this saw? Not much. I'm kind of a miter saw fanatic. I've had tons of Makita and Bosch saws, DeWalt saws, still have a lot of those, even Delta miter saws. But this is the very best one that I've ever used. One of the engineers that helped develop this tool worked for Skill for 40-something years before he signed on with Flex, and he really knows his stuff. This is a 12-inch miter saw. It does have a shadow line, so the light it casts a light on the top of the blade up here, so that casts a shadow on your material, which is really nice. The bevel function is phenomenal on this. I cut my crown molding on the flat, and this has got this quick shift bevel control lever where it locks into all of your common bevel degrees really fast and easily, and then to go back to 0, it's just that simple. I've had no issues, no complaints with this saw from day one. It cuts accurately. The fence is nice and parallel with everything. I didn't have to adjust the miter or anything right out of the box. And then, of course, my Bosch Gravity Rise stand. I've had this thing for years. I've had many different miter saws on this stand. And what I like about it is I can fold it up, pull it right up the ramp into the trailer. I don't have to pick up this miter saw. Now you can see we are using a dust collection bag on this, but a lot of times we'll use the Flex Stack Pack vacuum or the Flex extractor to keep dust at bay. We're not really too concerned about it in here. This is just a garage and we're not making that much dust. The bag actually does a pretty good job on this tool. So those are some of my top tools for trim carpentry, crown molding baseboard, door installation, casing installation, window jambs, all that stuff. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. We've got tons of how-to videos and tool review videos. I've done several reviews on this miter saw actually, so you should go check that out. Hope you enjoyed. We'll see you on the next one.